Looks like I need a little bit of coping, because I see Psych2Go in a top of search terms about coping. There's no escape, my friends. It's in every corner. The mental illness is creeping in. The rat is taking over. This is a very important topic because capitalism makes people sad, depressed, and borderline suicidal. First thing about capitalism, you can have what you want. Why you can have what you want? Well, you probably can't afford it. Why can you afford it? Well, there's no jobs. It's like the most fakest capitalism ever, where nobody trades. The only place you go to trade is some mega establishment markets. And that's it, that's all people know. They just go to shops to trade. And they go to job to get money for trading. And apparently life is simple, too, when all these things work out. But the problem is that capitalism is fundamentally about trading massively, like with each other all the time. We should be talking to each other and trading anything we have instead of swimming in privacy and sadness and mental illness, basically. It died before it even had an impact. In my personal life, I mean, I just have a terrible spawn point. I have shitty parents, so of course my life is going to be garbage for the rest of capitalism. Alright, until the system changes and I can actually adapt to the next top of the system a lot quicker and better when the good things start happening, because capitalism is dying. No one likes it anymore, no one knows how to use it, and everyone is fucking stubborn, especially the schools. I will make you depressed right now. Schools. When was the last time school taught you how to trade? No, it did not. It should be the highest priority, but what happened is schools have decayed and stagnated. It did not reinvent themselves. Now that AI is actually threatening schools to delete schools, oh shit, now we have to move around and change things because of AI. But they never actually acknowledged capitalism for some reason. Like, what is this shit? We're learning all the useless shit. We're brain rotting in classrooms, but never learning or encouraging each other to trade, to learn the most basic thing, to actually adapt to trading. Like every time you go into school, it's like I want to switch pens. I want to find some better notebook to look at. I just you gotta have things and trade things. I don't even know what you can trade. School is so boring. Back in my day, we had Yu-Gi-Oh! Alright? And people still have brain rot Gi-Oh! Which is great, and they're still swimming in nostalgia for some reason. But I also had one guy that was willing to trade cards. Is the most beautiful thing, isn't it? I want to get your Shinzo. Here's two mediocre cards for Shinzo. And it's like, I'm not trading. And he's like, three cards. And then you can consider the trade much more because you're under pressure. I want those three cards, maybe. It is. You're being put on the spot of like, you gotta make a tough decision. You're losing your Shinzo. You actually saw it in the cartoon. So yeah, welcome to capitalism, where you need money to survive. To survive. And you think capitalism has been around for a long time, and not really. We have replaced communism, and you don't know what we have lost. Ability to communicate. When I upload this video, no one cares. When I make a funny haha, look at this piece of shit asshole person, then everyone's like, oh my god, how dare you insult my YouTuber, I really care about your videos now. This is where we are, like the most depressing lifestyle of all time. I found the greatest insight. If you are smart, then you will hold other people's insanity. You know? You will store other people's insanity if you're smart. People will project mental illness onto you. They will push you around with as many insults as they can fucking muster of like, oh, this guy is smart, then let me test his smartness by dumping everything I have onto him. In terms of my insanity, you know. Oh, you like being smart, let me give you some more insanity. That's what people do. If you have capacity for something, they will fill that fucking capacity to the brim. In the most disgusting, vile way. You know, if you can hold demons, they will add demons right in there, you know? You create a jail system, people will be willingly jumping into your fucking jail left and right. Just get a capacity of anything, and holy shit, people gonna be using your services immediately. So much for having big brain. Should have treated that a long time ago. Hence the topic of today. Copium. I need to survive mentally, right? Like, shit is going down. We need to just survive 2.5 years. I can do it. I can do it, man. The timeline of apocalypse is over here. The Americans are gonna play their apocalyptic fucking games. And we're gonna be good. Like, we're just gonna move on, right? Right? Into the AI universe. The universe of AI. Yes. Except I would call it governism, because everyone will have ridiculous amount of power out of nowhere. It's like, what do I do with all this power? You are getting a glimpse at the moment of what power even looks like, of like, I can program anything, I know everything about anything, every single fact, and I barely need to find it. It's all being searched for me. Like, I have all this power. I can learn anything. I can do anything. I can learn any magic trick I want. Governism. You'll have to control yourself, first of all. Because you don't want to lose all that power. You don't want to go to jail now. More than ever before. More before we can even update the jail system properly. Because that's what powerful people would do. They would update broken-ass systems that are falling apart. Everything capitalism touches will fall apart quicker, because it will be exposed of not generating enough value for humanity. I am the copium. I am the only fucking way out of mental illness. Because if you just trust YouTube, I don't think you will survive. You see, smart and intellectual and powerful people are suffering apocalypse. Most idiots, they're not suffering. They feel the inflation, the lack of jobs, the rejection from women, you know. Useless is the capitalism when no one buys or sells land. You know, just sell land. But it's the integrity of the country, everyone would panic. Just sell some land. Why are we not able to sell some land to Russia if they want it so badly? Then just fucking buy it. You know, from Ukraine. Just make a fucking deal. No, let's fucking human sacrifice 2 million people. That's gonna solve the problem, you know, of wanting things and not being able to have things. But that's what it is. They ran out of copium, them Russians, didn't they? Running out of copium is the worst thing that could happen to you. Better fucking buy a good supply of that thing that helps you mentally survive. Where do these 2 islands come from? What the fuck is this? Yeah, if you have noticed, most borders don't tend to fucking move around and being able to buy up some land. Only Chinese can buy up American farmland, but that's a topic for another day. When people own something, they don't want to give it up anymore. And which is why my government is panicking and is saying of like, well, give property tax. Property tax. Okay, we gotta give it up, man. We gotta give up that property. I would say there should be a tax on net worth. Net worth tax. So it's like simple. You know, if your net worth is above $100,000, I think you gotta fucking put up with paying taxes now. Because again, everything you pay will reduce your net worth in general. I don't care where you find your worth, what you have to sell, you know. But if you have pretty decent net worth, people gonna give a fuck about you and buy things from you. A poor person cannot fucking pay taxes at all. At all, dude. Even tax is a fucking disgusting thing invented. And the more taxes you find, fucking grass tax. This is the newest one that just obliterates my brain cells. Wipes them off clean. The grass tax. You're not cutting your grass, getting taxed so fucking hard by the government, not by fucking homeowners association, the fucking government. This is insanity. Depending on how much they fucking care about imposing these taxes as well. You know, like, there's playing with fire. There should be one tax and one tax alone, which is net worth. How much you already accumulated should be chipped away from you in a certain period of time. How about every season? You know, we chip away them fuckers. And it's like, makes things so much easier, doesn't it? When you don't have to pay any taxes because you're poor. Capitalism, again, exposes the brokenness of the system. It makes everyone aware how shitty the system really is. But only when we have AI in our hands telling us how to break these motherfucker bones, then we can actually go to war. You know, against the authorities, against the brokenness of the system, we can actually start fixing things. However, we will also fight each other because we all gonna have powers, won't we? We're all gonna wake up with superpowers. So we'll have to fucking first teach each other a lesson of how not to misuse the powers. Do you need copium now? Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Let's begin. We haven't started yet. Oh yes. I could also make things a lot worse by clicking on videos. You're not ready for me to clicky-click on videos and listen to the most fucking outrageous ideas of all time. What are you coping with? Probably addiction. Let me talk about addiction right now. I'm addicted and talking about addiction. Isn't that right, Psych2Go? Isn't that correct? Am I not fucking correct about this?
The more aware we become of...
So if YouTube does not give you copium, where do you get the copium? Where are the sources of the copium dealing with all this stuff, including loneliness, inability to connect with people? And once the brokenness is exposed of the system, you have to cope knowing that the system is absolutely insane right now. People should be helping each other. They should be talking to each other very nicely. And if they're not trying to do that, something is missing, isn't it? So the first copium is obviously awareness. Awareness of what actually is going on, which is why I am the copium. I am giving you guys the way out of this mental illness of like, things are gonna get better, but you'll have to participate in making things better. Otherwise, no fucking point. You will have power, that means you will have responsibility. It comes together in a package and a meme. With great power comes great responsibility, because by having power, you have the ability to do things yourself. That means responsibility. That's where it comes from, you know? If you're Spider-Man, then do things yourself. I'm not gonna do things for you, Spider-Man. Why do you want me to climb the building? You can climb the fucking building. You have the power to climb building. Alright, so awareness comes first. I think the second thing that comes is technology. Is the idea that things have generally been improving within the people who have the power within them to improve things, who don't give up in the correct manner. Alright? They want to trade in the end, but they're focused on creating something that's actually valuable to society. Technology, boys, brings us closer to actually mastering capitalism in general. Like, they trying to like give us Bitcoin of like, hey, maybe there's gonna be digital currency or something. It's just an idea. It's not actually functional at all. You should not invest into Bitcoin, you fucking idiots. It's just a piece of technology that's like the first iPhone. Are you gonna buy every single first iPhone just because it exists? I don't think so. Just because something exists, you don't need to fucking own it and not give it to anyone else. Just let other people have it. All right, and other people will cry of like, oh, but it melted. Yes, because it's chocolate. It melts under sunlight. And it doesn't melt in the Antarctic where nobody fucking cares to go anyways. You know, your Bitcoin is safe out there, frozen in a block of ice. No one wants to touch your fucking Bitcoin. No one wants to take it away from you. You're safe, bro. You're safe. I don't care, though. It's useless in a block of ice. Okay. Good investment. Good investment opportunity if you can find ice. Anyways, I don't want to fucking bitch about Bitcoin again. It's so annoying. Everyone just like see the number go up. And they have this, again, the capitalistic dissonance to pretend that number go up is always a good thing. Well, you have not been spending money. You know, you have not been participating in the economy. Bitcoin was ruining the economy too. Bitcoin was shitty part of technology. It's just at best an idea, but an idea that ruins the economy. And of course, when economy is getting ruined, Bitcoin goes up in value because it's winning against the rest of the economy. So, okay, dude. But the moment we actually have a functioning economy, Bitcoin will just disappear. No one will want to fucking talk about it anymore. The most important part of technology is to be able to cope against not having big enough space, because no one wants to give you space. No one wants to give you a house to live in, an apartment. They want to rent it to you because they don't actually have to give you anything when they rent. There's no agreement of like you live 20 years, you rent for 20 years and you own the place. No, there's no agreement for that. If you rent, you just give them free money for giving you this four walls container, basically, that everyone wants. You know, you're paying basically for the demand of the container. And it's like, shouldn't we have enough containers for human being population number? You know, shouldn't that match? Like, what's going on? Again, it's a broken fucking system of housing, all right, taken advantage of, and no one wants to give up their property, so the prices go up, the economy is going down, the ship's going down, boys. Where's the next COPIUM? Well, content. But I haven't stopped talking about technology. Technology allows you to increase the value of your tiny space. You have a tiny space, but you can cram in this piece of technology, that piece of technology. You can hang it over there. You can have a whole fucking computer inside your pocket now. So if your space, if you were living inside a pocket, now you can have a phone. All right? You still have enough space for a phone. Congratulations. You want to trade? You want to trade some cheese? I'm just asking a question for a friend. We're both living in a pocket after all. Anyways. Content is the next thing, obviously. Making content and consuming content, it's pretty obvious, right? You have to spend time, you have to go into the future, travel into the future as best as you can. As long as you have enough money to do so, but that's up to you now. My content helps. But any content helps. As long as it spends your time wisely and doesn't fucking brain rot you with more depression and sadness. Where it's like, Mr. Beast has rented the entire Disneyland and he already has a wife. He already has billions of dollars and he's younger than you. How do you feel about it? I feel that Mr. Beast is a fraud. Yeah, unfortunately, you have to run around and try and, like, not get into rich people's ways because that's the most depressing thing. Like, why they have and they don't want to share, man? They have so many things. You have to watch content that actually provides you value. Just because someone rented Madison beer might feel actually that it hurts. Because, wow, look how sexy she is. She must be a good person when you hang out with her, you know? You will never forget that experience. I mean, you literally can, though. And I did that. And I did not like it. Zero fucking talent, guys. That's what it is. If someone can be rented, they're probably not going to be high quality after all. 100% production sounds like a money grab. Money grabbing bitch. And then you feel good about yourself again because rich people don't actually have good time. They just project good time. They want to flex, and their flex didn't fucking work very well. You get to think of, like, maybe in their situation, I would do a lot more interesting, better things, and I would share with other people because I'm nice like that. But Mr. B shares, shut the fuck up, okay? Don't talk about it right now. Don't steal my copium. But people should not lie to themselves to increase the copium, because I hear that all the time. I am always under attack because people want to lie to themselves. That I'm a bad guy somehow. Cool, I guess I'm not helpful at all. Obviously, I have to provoke them to attack me, but it's still not fair because they don't watch the rest of my channel, do they? But at least you get to see how other people try to cope and how they miserably fail because they have to lie to themselves, so they will not live in reality. Like, in order to get a good girl to like you, you have to be, first of all, older than she is, which is very easy to do. You have to be tall. You have to have a good job and have a lot of money, which is very easy to do. You have to dress nice, speak nice, and approach the girl, which is also very easy to do. So basically, the best copium is not doing shit. You know, like people want you to do shit, especially women. That's where they get all the fucking money from, you know? OnlyFans. OnlyFans give them money. No one else. Alright? That's where they go into restaurants to be waitresses because they can get tips. They don't want no real fucking salary. They want tips. Women literally are actually incapable of operating in functional capitalism because they have barely anything to sell. But when they withhold all their love and affection, it starts pumping money to them. It's like, what's going on? Well, you're dying, that's what's going on. We're pumping the fucking life support. So, like, please don't die. You look very pretty. Please don't die. You know that after 10 years, you're gonna look ugly now. Don't die. We're pumping life support, you fucking whore. Some people are incapable of not doing shit, so they have to, like, throw money at you so you survive. You have the... You can eat breakfast when you wake up, you know? Breakfast to your bed. Right there. Because you have enough money. Buy it now. $10, $10. Yeah, not doing shit is the greatest copium because you're not getting yourself involved in a bunch of crap that you don't. Like, whether it's a shitty group of friends that just does nothing in the end, so it's like I can do nothing on my own, thank you very much. Whether it's reducing the amount of drama you have to deal with because you deal with the minimum version of it. Sometimes running away from responsibilities is a detrimental kick into your face. because you have to take care of shit when you can, when you're supposed to. But when you're not supposed to, not doing shit is pretty good thing to do. Like, you're not gonna win the Ukraine-Russia war all by yourself anyways. So, why participate there too much, right? Why spend too much time? You're not gonna master chess. You have to give up certain things, right? It's just like, just play better games, just focus on variety of things. Don't do shit just because you have been doing shit this whole time. You have been committed to something. I have 4 YouTube channels. Does that mean I have to upload on all 4 YouTube channels all the time? Yes. Because I'm a fucking badass YouTuber. But that also means that I don't have to go outside to touch grass anymore. Congratulations me. So much time has been saved. No more grass touching, boy. Fuck that shit. It's for noobs. Noobs spawn on the grass to touch it. Funny thing is 69. Like the 6th month and 9th day. It's funny. Don't be so serious. Again, people are gonna be so fucking idiotic when I actually say an insult, but in a funny way. It's like, they gonna say, don't be so serious to me? When people grow up, they lose the sense of sarcasm, and it's like, what the fuck, bro? What the fuck are you? Oh my fucking god. And people just gonna flock onto the NPC being stupid. You know, because they're scared of smart people. The only way you can maintain everything you have is by not being too serious. Now, what does that mean? Well, it's another commitment thing. If you don't succeed in something, which in capitalism terms, it is doomed to happen, someone's gonna kick your ass, you were serious about it. That's a problem. Your plans should be flexible and should be able to change any time. If you are committed to something, if you're serious at breaking the world's record of who drinks the most beers in a fucking day, I don't know if you'll survive that one. You know? You're being serious about some pretty fucking dumb thing anyways. So might as well, like, equalize the playfield and not be so serious about nothing. Even chasing love, like, it should relatively happen naturally. Just let things happen. Don't be serious in chasing women, but don't be serious at rejecting women either. Just chase the flow. You can be serious about the flow state. Serious about not being serious. When people become so serious, they get invested into topics like globe Earth. You know? The dumb version of the Earth. Flat Earth is actually nice because you don't have to be serious about it anymore. You're just like, well, it's flat and doesn't do shit. It doesn't fly around the sun for no particular reason and spin around its axis for no particular reason. You know? You have to find ideologies even that are not serious. That's just kind of flatten emotions about space travel and I will go to Mars tomorrow, my friend. Don't be serious, don't be competitive in fucking video games. Don't be competitive in sports. Like, you're being too serious, you're being too hard on yourself. You want to be a winner and it's not gonna yield anything at all, dude. You're better off just being yourself, which is impossible to be serious about because you're everything you want to be. And everyone has to get a chance too. Everyone should get a chance on everything. To trade with you, most importantly. To get your apology. To apologize to you. There should be nothing that's set in stone and is like permanent. No. There should be outs for everything. So people are being very serious in order to cope, not realizing That's the opposite of coping. People are doing the opposite of coping all the time. They just remove technology from their lives. They reduce awareness and they say, la, 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 I can't hear anything. Nuclear weapons, I can... La, 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 la. They watch the shittiest content imaginable, and they do way too much to the point where it's like, I can't keep up with that thing. You're not doing it with me anyways. Just doing by yourself. Have fun over there. Or waiting for me to do things. I'd work faster. Make me more money. What? Fuck you. How do we end up like this? And then some capitalist piece of shit is gonna come up to you as well if you don't work hard of like, but they can just hire another person and replace you. You have to be competitive to survive. No, I just have to hire myself in enough jobs and get enough money and then bail away from the fucking rent zones, basically. Then I will survive. You have to have a good life strategy. Alright? You gotta be equipped with a very good life strategy. Or survival strategy. So you don't get into, like, really nasty shit that's very hard to get out of. Now that we have all this context, now we can watch this video and actually kick their ass for the 100th time.
Say, the first step to overcoming any problem is to acknowledge it.
You're the problem.
And been a huge decline in mental health around the world, which is why we're so committed to creating more content than we ever have.
Which is more you committed to spamming and stealing money through the attention economics, bro. Fucking assholes. Oh my god, this is mental decline. Let's profit.
Thanks for being a part of our journey.
Thank
Number
you.
1, have you ever had someone you trusted?
Exploitation immediately. They don't want to talk about it.
Purpose. And number 7,
Anyways. Was that number 7? It is. It is number 7. Anger and honesty. This is my personal coping mechanism. You can have your own. Of calling your family members, I don't know, your friends, seeing how sad you and pathetic loser you are. Because they want to hear that. It's like, give me that. Or just going into a party and just doing whatever the fuck you want. You know, in the party. I have freedom, free will, boys. I just sit here and look at girls and drool, basically, into a cup. And that's what I decided to do in a party. Or maybe you like yelling randomly in the street to get weird reactions from people for science. I don't know what's up, but you have your own personality coping mechanism that I can't change for you. My personal is anger and honesty, and maybe you can do some of that somehow. I know it's like the hardest thing ever to be honest, not angry. Angry is easy. But when people get angry, they don't want to be honest. They want to fucking keep it inside anyways. Just want to pretend that I'm the problem, right? It's the easiest thing. The most dishonest thing, too. So far, I literally can't watch this video because it's boring as fuck.
Number 1 is of other people and their intentions. Too.
Yes, it sounds like I don't want to do shit with people I don't trust.
They often erode our sense of our view
How
of
do we
others
cope
as
now?
well. Most likely that your coping mechanism is to keep people at an emotional distance and leave before you get left.
Well, if they're serious about something, you have to figure out what it is. Just like how you untangle a scammer. Because they're serious at taking your money. But they're gonna be nice. They're gonna put up front. And the moment you find out what they actually want, because it's gonna be suspicious, they're always gonna try and, 10% their intentions onto you. It's a game. It's definitely a game of catching the predator, basically.
Your emotional
Abandonment, though. What do you do with loneliness? Content. Why was content not mentioned? I don't know. Even though it's like the actual coping mechanism to that, not like rejecting other people. Like, what?
Neglect and deprivation
That would be the unwanted consequence.
can be just of empathy,
My parents don't love
understanding
me.
to others. Number 4.
What's the coping mechanism, though? They stopped giving that. Emotional deprivation. There's deprivation of something, for sure. Yeah, it's important to ask for help. I'm not capable of doing that, to be honest. But simply because I'm not a social human being. We live in a society, and unfortunately we have limited amount of personality. Yes, I can be angry and honest, and it's gonna fall flat when I have to be social with someone and actually ask for help. Fucking sucks, man. I don't wanna. I delay asking for help for God knows how long. Which technically requires additional coping. I can't fix the electrical circuits. Well, I have to block it off and I'm not able to use it anymore. Can I still cope with that? Technically, it's not that bad. Only when things get serious, you have to start fixing the problem because that's the problem. Alright? But for a long time, you're literally clicking these buttons. Oh, like, I don't have to do shit right now. No, it's not that serious. And then only when it really hits the fan, then really be concerned in reducing the seriousness of the situation.
And he knows the psychological
Shame on you, Psych2Go.
and
Shame on
emotional
you.
toll realize their rejection and resort to self-blame.
It's not going to be good enough for the price we pay.
People critical as well.
I told you not to be competitive.
Particular trauma.
Yeah, people do want to point fingers and tell you that you're the problem. The problem happens when I've did all I can. I've spent a lot of fucking time already getting nothing in return. If I get nothing, I'm not the problem. I have to get something. So I will gravitate towards getting something when I trade, right? That's how you know. People will pretend that, oh, if we're gonna do this big trade, big singular trade where you give me $1 million, I will marry you, basically. That's what has to happen. You know, give me all the stability in the world, and I will kiss you one day. Fuck your shit, bro. If you cannot provide trading on a low level, you cannot provide trading in a high level, and that's where people, make up and break up right then and there when they realize that what they need is actually constant trading, constantly benefiting from each other from day fucking one. It's not like, oh, you're gonna go on a date and it's like, oh, but the girl wants free dinner. Oh, man. I don't know how I feel about that. And it's like, well, did she give anything in return for that free fucking meal? You know, does it feel like a fair trade? If it doesn't feel like a fair trade, then fucking slap that bitch. So far, Psych2Go is not making me angry.
Tend to be timid,
Funny enough.
overly and overachieving, and are likely to be overly
Yes, I'm the number one husband.
self-critical as
So, fair trade. Always remember that. The trades have to be fair. If they're not fair, you're not the problem. The trade is not fair. You're not getting what you deserve to be able to achieve a fair trade that satisfies both parties. And that's where you might actually realize that not only you're not the problem, but they are the problem, and it's very provable. If you're not subscribed, you are the problem, you fucking fool. I thought we're gonna be fair. I thought we're gonna like each other. No, you just didn't decide to subscribe yet. Didn't decide to boost my channel in any other way. Just like, okay. Not fair. Really not fair. Again, celebrities tend to give free content, so that looks like a fair trade to me. Everyone else is as unfair as humanly possible. My brain cannot fucking fathom the level of unfairness and just non-existence that other people commit to. They're committed to that shit. You have to check for fair trades, my friends, if you want to survive.
Is acting like you can't.
It's not just a 5-minute brainwash video. It's also, information that literally you wasted your time. You don't understand what you're looking at. It just looks nice to most people. They don't actually understand whether they're learning something or just hearing someone else's base experience, just like very, very basic shit. Of like, well, if you're abandoned, then you're gonna be like not liking people as much. Next.
Ever do anything by
Number
yourself
5.
and exaggerate competence. Being codependent, incompetence. Being caught.
What does that mean? What is that? Why is incompetence and dependence compared with being coddled?
And
What's going on?
overprotected.
Is that, do you create incompetence because you're not being challenged to have responsibility?
Can also tear down self-esteem.
I guess.
Self. That's why people who are and easily fall victim to
Okay, I do agree with that one.
spoiled and entitled also have very fragile egos.
It's called being American, right there.
Those who've experienced easily fall victim to emotionally codependent relationships.
I do love that, actually. I do love that.
So traumatic at first glance.
But what does that have to do with dependence and incompetence? You're not actually using these definitions. I do, in fact, give you failure. And then we talk about fragility of ego somehow. Like, what the just a mash of random shit is the video. You wake up from this video and you feel like, what kind of drugs am I on right now? Technically, it's about being spoiled, right? It's about you getting too much of something, of resources, and you don't actually have to do anything yourself. So whenever people hurt your feelings, you go to your mommy to cry. What is the actual solution when you feel dependent and incompetent to do things? I have no idea. Maybe panic. Maybe it's time to panic. Maybe you can still learn things. Maybe you could just copy what everyone else is doing and ask questions and rely on other people, just like you are dependent on other people, so might as well do the thing that you know how to do, right? Complain that you are not financially stable to a bunch of people who might be able to help. The system does give you the bare minimum to survive in some cases. Well, since future should be your coping mechanism. There it is. As long as you can survive and you can travel into the future, whether it's content or just whatever, right? Even if you can't have time for content, the future is still going to be better than the past. And maybe it's going to be exactly suitable for you to live a normal life of what you think is normal. Because other people think going to a workplace and working 12-hour shifts is completely normal to them. It's hard to tell. Like, people can surrender to the new normal and make it normal. To me, it's not normal that people praise content like this because it's garbage.
Or recognition seeking, internal validation, and pushovers. And tend
Coping as a people pleaser because you want attention and approval. Again, the video is not actually trying to help, it's just causing more problems. Of making you aware of all the problems there are in the world, and it's like now you have to sit down and do the fucking chess tournament against all these problems. Thank you, I'm doing it right now. For you. But hey, it pleases the people, like, it's the most amazing thing. She's probably doing all the fucking sins she is counting right now. Very relatable for her. So what about attention seeking? I never seeked attention. I would want to hide. I would want to have privacy. Like, what kind of fucking attention are you talking about? I don't know what people are doing. I think people are doing stupid shit. Even though privacy is painful, but it's better than having attention. Way better. Like, anyone's attention locked into you is just going to be a negative experience. This is why people drive colorless cars. I mean, at some point, privacy gets to a level of insanity because you literally have no personality either. All you have to do is walk past all the fucking idiots as quickly as possible, and you're also exercising, you know? You can wear a fucking clown nose if you want to. Have any trait of personality if you want to. Don't exaggerate. Don't be too serious. But don't exaggerate. Don't do too much shit, is what I would say. Don't put too much makeup. Don't wear exaggerated clothing to catch attention. Just be yourself. And you'll be fine. So yeah, privacy is better than attempting to gain attention by force. That's the worst thing you can do.
To struggle with number 7.
If you want to show something to people, be honest. But that's all you can do. You give them something and they don't like it, they throw it away. It's like, okay, I tried. Your personality and self-esteem is gonna grow naturally and you will slowly change, but don't have to turn into a fucking lib clown. That's still not bad enough, you know? I'm talking about this shit, bro. Pick your clown. This is attention seeking right there.
Inhibition. Last, but certainly not
But certainly the most complicated shit, because I don't know what the fuck inhibition
least.
is.
People who and resort to suppression, avoidance.
Emotion bottling would actually sound a lot better, wouldn't it?
Early on, they bottle up their feelings and ignore them and feelings. So,
Bottling emotions, what do? There are authorities in life that you don't want to release your bottled emotions onto. I personally can bottle my emotions, but you're not able to bottle your emotions if you're getting approached because someone actually genuinely attempting to approach you. If they're being violent, then that's a whole different fucking level. If they're just screaming at you, fuck these guys. You know? You're not bottling anything. These people are just fucking predators. It's hard to tell exactly, but it is better to just attempt to communicate, you know? Bottling emotion is just stupid. Communicate is the last resort, basically, the last thing you can possibly do. Again, ask for help, communicate, that sort of thing. It's when everything falls apart and you run out of options of your own. Well, yes, you can try and do that and see what happens. You know, confrontation. Seeing what happens does not involve immediate reception of apology. It might not happen. You have to see a de-escalation of situation. Which is why I immediately go to communication, because I see that people losing their shit and just offer to communicate further. But if they continue losing their shit, then they don't even see it as an option. The funny thing is, people tend to be honest in the end when they're exhausted. Eventually, you can break anyone's bottles, and you should be scared for your bottle to be broken, for your lies to be exposed one day, you know? So you can only keep it for so long until it just boils out of control.
do you relate to any of the things we've mentioned here?
No, I don't relate, because you're stupid. You don't actually give any solutions to the things. It's just like, oh yeah, I might recognize this. No, I don't recognize. Well, okay, it's fine. It's fine. I don't have to exaggerate.
Watching this made you traumatic experience has influenced the ways in which thing you can do for yourself is to reach out and talk to a professional can provide you.
Yes. Panic. That's the solution. Just communicate. Give in to the authorities. Do the right thing. Do the flop.
With the support and information you need.
Of course. When this is like the only solution for people, I mean, that's the most pathetic thing I've ever seen. You just fell through floor after floor until you ended up communicating that, oh, I can't live a proper life anymore, please help me. No, those people don't want to fucking help you, actually. They don't. They want you to be able to help yourself. This is what I do, and technically it doesn't matter how many people watch my videos and not. Copium is required, as you can tell. Nothing changes that. I just see the necessity better than other people and establish myself to not care about funny little graphics. This whole fucking video is copium, basically. Because we see it ending like, hey, but then ask for help, guys. If you recognize all of these, please ask for help. I don't know what to do, to be honest. Just talk to a professional. Yeah. Yeah. What does this guy want to say?
Between a pigeon's ability to count and human mental health.
The connection is that you're making a funny meme at the start to try and clickbait us into watching the rest of the video. Do you want to know how Hitler is related to Minecraft? I'm very interested, sir. Please go on.
Become more complex. Rely on coping mechanisms like procrastination, overusing their smartphones, or working harder through a tough time. This can
working harder through a tough time? I don't have one of those. What do you mean working harder? This is definitely not coping mechanism. Man, that's a fucking good question. Working harder? If there's a light in the end of the tunnel, absolutely. If you can work things out. I mean, I'm not gonna stop you from doing that, am I?
Depressed.
Oh no, they got even worse, even though they used the correct types of copium. What happened?
For example, instead of getting to that task that fills you with anxiety.
Shut the fuck up, they are time traveling.
Anxiety or dread. Click on the next episode button. But
Bro has attacked 3 coping mechanisms at the same time. Alright. So?
insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different response.
Just like saying the definition of insanity, which happens to sound exactly the same all the fucking time, isn't it? Cool definition of insanity. You don't want to use the same weapon against different opponents. Using the same one leads to insanity, for you are ignoring the skills you need in various situations. Definition of insanity is choosing to do something stupid again when you could have done a different kind of stupid instead at least felt something new. Definition of insanity is letting the same thing occur too many fucking times. Find a fucking new definition of insanity, piece of fucking shit.
Unlearn them to improve our mental health. Natalia desperately wanted a smartphone, but I saw this as a threat to her self-confidence.
I saw an opportunity to piss her off.
While she they become. So do you want to be less confident and more anxious?
If I give you a phone, then you will be a stupid person, of course. And then, oh no, don't give me the phone, Daddy. I don't need that shit.
Change from that youthful optimism to the cold reality that
cold fucking lie that she has received from you fucking asshole. Asian asshole.
Natalia finally.
Again, people are fucking pointing fingers at phone addiction when the problems are everywhere else but the phone. In this case, we are literally watching Asian asshole just flex of like, look how I prevented my daughter from using phone. Wow. Where's my cheers button? Oh, it farted away. Oh, it stopped.
They got her smartphone. Maybe a little uncomfortable. Eventually, and uncertainty. You'd strengthen your resilience to anxiety.
No. It's okay to feel anxious and then check and not feel anxious anymore. Because you really care about your friends.
There's a network in our brain for reassurance and instant relief by texting. We use them to seek reassurance.
No, you can reassure yourself by asking a question like, how you doing? Are you gonna come to the party or whatever? You invite your friend over. I usually say party, but that's next level right there. Are you coming? You're not supposed to ask if your friend is coming or not. Stop texting. Stop using phone.
Depleted. Time in our lives when it seems like everything is going wrong.
Yeah, every fucking video I click on is going wrong.
And the energy and our family dog died. Like most of us, what can we do to break these patterns and improve our self-confidence?
He constantly refers to muscles. I don't blame him. You know, when you create habits, they become a routine pattern of where you want to sit, what you want to do, what you want to eat. Patterns of behavior are created in order to make things more free flow. But every particular case needs a particular solution, so you gotta see.
Well, if it was physical
special.
fitness equivalent is to talk more. The issue.
Here you go. Talk more. Is that correct? Genuinely, yes. But in actuality, no. Your mental health fitness is not about talking, it's about, thinking. Thinking that you are a good person, that everything is working out, that you don't have to push yourself too hard. It's thinking, not fucking talking. He fell off a cliff.
Is that there's still.
And I love now we cheer. Let's fucking go. I'm not stalking.
A lot of stigma attached.
Fucking Ted's talker, this guy. Get the fuck out of here.
This narrative.
Is he gonna rat the same way and be like, hey, ask for help? Talking is the last thing for your mental health.
In our lives. By talking, we uncover truth.
Tell me an example of people talking to each other. Because I forgot about that.
Mental health is.
Like, the biggest problem of mental health is always going to be you're too lonely. So you're really going to talk things out? You're going to work things out? What if you don't have the resources? Loneliness is actually going to cut you off from these things. But technically, any mental illness can only cut one thing at a time. So working things out is possible. You're just not going to be able to talk to anyone because you're lonely. But you can still work things out of just accepting loneliness. I would say it's definitely not a fair trade if you feel lonely.
Behaviors have been shaped over a long. So I can't tell you what's best for you in your situation without knowing more about you.
Yes, you can. You can just talk about how you solve problems, you stupid idiot.
Have these feelings gotten better or worse over time? If the answer is worse, then you're relying on an unhelpful coping mechanism.
Maybe that's true, though. And maybe now you have the perfect copium grenades. A powerful way to actually steer away from shitty things happening. Again, often enough is just not doing too much shit and not being serious. You have to reduce the tension and rely on the future and rely on other people being the problem. Rely on you just being able to hide skeletons in the closet and just calm down, basically. Because there's that coping mechanisms. Like, they exist.
More about our own patterns.
I'm really glad that this is not my coping mechanism of watching shitty advice videos.
Patterns of insanity psychologists.
He's a psychologist who's getting paid money. Why don't I get paid money? Thank you for watching.